We're going to make our military so big and so strong, nobody's going to mess with us.
In 2025, the U.S. President Donald Trump reignited one of naval warfare's most enduring debates. Should America bring back the Iowa-class battleships, the steel giants that once ruled the seas? His remarks, both provocative and patriotic, called for a return to real power you can see. But in an age defined by hypersonic missiles, autonomous drones, and AI-guided fleets, the question isn't whether these ships can return, it's whether they should. The Iowa class, mighty, armored, and awe-inspiring, once embodied the muscle of American sea power. Yet the ocean they were built to dominate no longer exists. The battlefield has changed. And in the West, where strategy now moves at digital speed, reviving a relic of the past may not just be impractical, it may be dangerous. When the Iowa-class battleships first cut through the waves in World War II, they were marvels of engineering and symbols of unstoppable might. Each carried 9 16-inch guns capable of hurling explosive shells over 20 miles. They led fleets, bombarded coastlines, and projected American authority wherever they sailed. During the Cold War, they evolved, equipped with Tomahawk missiles and radar-guided defenses, yet their essence remained unchanged. Visible, tangible dominance. That's what Trump's call taps into. The image of a 58,000-ton warship thundering across the Pacific resonates with a nostalgia for simpler definitions of power, when strength was measured in armor thickness and gun caliber. "You can see it," Trump reportedly said. "That's a real deterrence." But as Western strategists note, modern deterrence isn't about visibility, it's about survivability. As the War Zone wrote, the sea is no longer ruled by what floats the largest, but by what's hardest to find. In the 21st century, invisibility is the new intimidation. To understand why the Iowa class can't simply steam back into relevance, one must grasp how profoundly the character of war has transformed. The modern naval arena isn't a contest of armor, it's a contest of data. Today's fleets operate through networked systems, AI-driven targeting, and cooperative engagement networks, where destroyers, submarines, aircraft, and satellites share information in milliseconds. Battles are fought not by exchanging shells, but by outcomputing the opponent, detecting, jamming, and striking faster than they can respond. Against this backdrop, a battleship's greatest strength, its bulk, is also its weakness. Even the Iowa's 12-inch armor belt offers no defense against modern anti-ship weapons like China's DF-21D carrier killer or Russia's Kaliber missiles. A single hypersonic glide vehicle, traveling 5 times the speed of sound, can sink what once required an entire fleet. As Army Recognition noted in its 2025 assessment, armor is no longer a force field, it's a target marker. In the age of precision, size invites destruction. Reviving the Iowa class would be an engineering and financial odyssey. Each ship would require an overhaul of its aging propulsion systems, hull reinforcements, and electronic architecture, decades out of date. To compete with modern vessels, they'd need vertical launch systems or VLS, Aegis-compatible radars, and electronic warfare suites capable of defeating missile and drone swarms. Defense analysts estimate such a modernization could exceed $5 billion per ship, rivaling the cost of building entirely new destroyers or cruisers. Even then, the Iowa's fundamental limitations, its massive crew requirements, high fuel consumption, and sluggish speed, remain unsolved. As Army Recognition reported, modernizing these vessels might add short-term firepower, but offers little long-term strategic value compared to advanced Aegis-equipped destroyers. Meanwhile, Western navies have already fielded platforms that outperform battleships in every measurable way. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, for instance, can intercept ballistic missiles, engage air threats, and strike land targets while remaining agile and networked across NATO systems. As national security journals succinctly put it, the battleship was built for a war that no longer exists. The Western approach to maritime power has evolved toward distributed lethality. Many smaller, smarter ships that can coordinate seamlessly, not a few massive icons of steel. NATO fleets rely on interoperability, digital synchronization, and precision over sheer presence. Trump's proposal, therefore, represents a clash of eras. a 20th century vision in a 21st century battle space. In the Western strategic mindset, resilience now comes from adaptation, not armor. The concept of a hero ship leading a fleet is obsolete. Modern warfare is a network, not a parade. Moreover, in a geopolitical climate defined by near-peer competition and hybrid warfare, bringing back battleships could inadvertently create new vulnerabilities. They are too visible, too valuable, and too difficult to defend. As one defense analyst wrote, deploying a battleship in a drone-saturated combat zone is like parking a cathedral in a minefield. Perhaps nowhere is the obsolescence of brute force platforms more evident than in Ukraine. The war there has redefined modern combat. Drones costing a few $1,000s have destroyed tanks worth millions. Swarms of loitering munitions and precision-guided artillery have rendered static or slow-moving targets nearly suicidal. Agility, intelligence, and dispersion have become the keys to survival. Ukraine's success in leveraging Western-provided technology, satellite-guided artillery, AI-assisted targeting, and autonomous drones demonstrates that warfare has shifted irreversibly from armor to algorithm. The same principle applies at sea. The Navy that dominates tomorrow will not be the one with the thickest hulls, but the one with the smartest networks. From NATO's perspective, the Iowa class is the maritime equivalent of the Russian T-90 tank. Powerful, yes, but blind in a world where visibility equals vulnerability. The West has learned from Ukraine that the quantity of steel is no match for quality of information. None of this diminishes the Iowa class's historical grandeur. These ships are monuments to human engineering, symbols of an era when might was measured in megatons and armor plates. They deserve their place in museums, not mothballs. But as modern warships observed, in the modern ocean, the most dangerous ships are the ones you don't see coming. Today's dominance comes from invisible arsenals, unmanned surface vessels, AI-managed sensor grids, and hypersonic missiles that travel halfway across the planet in minutes. The West's investment isn't in reviving old giants, but in creating fleets that think, adapt, and fight autonomously. This is the new naval arms race, not one of size, but of speed and software. Donald Trump's vision of resurrecting the Iowa-class battleships may awaken patriotic nostalgia, but it belongs to another time, a time before satellites, drones, and data-driven war. Modern naval dominance, as the West and Ukraine have shown, is not about who sails the biggest ship, but who controls the fastest flow of information. Bringing back the Iowa class would not signal America's return to power, it would signal its refusal to move forward. In an age where a drone swarm can sink a cruiser and cyber weapons can paralyze fleets, the true battleships of tomorrow won't carry guns at all, they'll carry code. The steel giants have had their time. The future of sea power is silent, smart, and unseen.